Extortive prices on clothing and jewelry. Don't get me wrong, I love clothing and jewelry. I love to collect it. Um, but I don't understand how, like, for example, a ring stolen from Kanye West and Kim, whatever the hell she um, is like $4 million. I don't understand how you can pay that amount of money for something like that rather than give it to somewhere that really badly needs it, when you can get a beautiful sterling silver or even stainless steel ring, even gold, for 15 to 50 bucks, you know? It drives me nuts to see clothing items priced in this hierarchical fashion. 4 million for a ring. I mean, that's nuts. Like, how far could that money go to help people? I would never pay $4 million for a ring, and who the hell is shallow enough to base the value of $4 million on a ring? I can't fathom it. You know, jewelry's nice, clothing is fun. You know, I like to free cycle. I like to go and thrift store and free cycle. And the way I put my outfits together, sometimes I get like yuppie type people being like, "Oh my God, like that is so cool. Where did you get that?" And then it's like, "Yeah, I got it from the Sally Ann and this was for free." And they're like, "Oh." Or sometimes they're like, "Oh, that's so original and creative of you to get like used clothing and like turn it into something that looks so good." And it's just like, yeah, it's not that hard to do. There is I don't understand, like, when the royals came here, they were going on about, they were going on about the kids' clothing, and like there was like a blouse that the little girl was wearing and it was like $200 and $500 or whatever the hell. I mean, it was just like, if I was to pay more money for good clothing, it would be that I would pay more, like, rather than $5 or $10 or free cycled, paying like 30, 40, 50, 60 bucks for a shirt if it was all natural material, fair trade, boutique made type of item. That's the kind of item that is worth paying a bit more for. And that makes sense to me. But to pay like gargantuanly disproportionate, extortive amounts, it makes me want to almost throw up thinking about it. Because clothing is nice and clothing is pretty. I don't understand how the value of something like that could be jacked up to those levels. That clothing cannot have that kind of value in the make. You know, how much profit are those designer places and those for rich people only, for elite only clothing companies, how much money are they raking in? How much profit? It's really nuts. And it doesn't need to be that way. And they must, target the rich. Society puts value on this designer clothing. They brainwash society into thinking that this clothing is worth so much more, or this jewelry. In the case of rings, precious metals have their value. I mean, it makes out slightly more sense with the jewelry, but still though, it's still a man-made concept of value. And it's nuts to me because that money is grossly being misallocated and mismanaged when it could be used to help people, to improve this up world, to restore social justice, build schools and water pump and clean up our oceans and all this. Why the is anyone spending $4 million on a ring? I have no respect for somebody who spends $4 million on a ring. I don't give a shit what kind of pedestal the world puts them on. I have zero respect for somebody who spends 4 million bucks on a ring. I think that's crazy. That's extortion, and I think it's unnecessary. Clothing is beautiful, clothing is fun. You do not ever need to spend that kind of money on it. I mean, if you're going to spend a little more, give it to the independent, small business or whatever that has a nice handmade item. If I were a rich person, that's what I would do. I would not be grossly wasting extra money on like $4 million rings and whatever, $1,500 dresses, $80 socks, $50 underwear. No. I just don't get it. It's gross. It makes no sense, and it hurts people. Endorsing that bullshit hurts people. It hurts the earth.